Hi, everybody. This is Mark Dilatosh. This is Dr. Andrew Roman. This is Mrs. Laci Phillips Newland. I got you. I remember. All right. And we are here with the end of the year podcast. If you've been a subscriber to our podcast for the last 10 or 15 years, the end of the year podcast is one of the most watched. Actually, there's people that watch it 2 or 3 times or listen to it 2 or 3 times. Basically, what we do with the end of the year is we recap 2020, but we recap the end of the year, what happened in dentistry throughout that current year. And then we look forward into the next year and we try to give you an idea, some insight as to what we see. Now, normally it's Howie and I, but now with NPI Education, if you haven't gone to npieducation.com yet and signed up, it's complimentary. It doesn't cost you anything. Laci is an instructor in NPI Education. Dr. Andrew Roman is an instructor in NPI Education. Both of them are in the fee-for-service journey series of courses. With this end of year podcast, we thought we would bring in an actual wet finger dentist who works on patients all day and works with his team all day. We brought in a nationally known speaker and consultant, Laci, and I'm just your same marketing guy you've been listening to for 15 years. The format's going to be, we're going to take about 10 minutes each, and we're going to talk about 2022 for about 5 minutes. And we're going to talk about what we see coming in 2023 for about 5 minutes. And since I'm the guinea pig, I'll go first. Right? First, I want to clear up some of the questions. Some of them were from my staff. Laci, the last time you saw me, I had a full beard, right? Before that, Andrew saw me with no beard. Yeah. So there's a little story behind this. It started to get scraggly. I woke up one morning and my electric shavers on my nightstand. I grabbed it, kind of groggy, walked into the bathroom, turned it on, zip, and I didn't have that little guard on there so that it doesn't go straight down to your skin. So I ground down a piece of my beautiful beard. So now I had to shave it all off. Now I have to grow it in again. So if you're wondering why I have a beard one day and no beard the next day, that's why.
Mark, okay, look, women change everything every single day. So it's
I know there's no empathy from you. I know.
Also, it's funny that you're saying this because I was just sitting here looking at you thinking, oh, we've got to go to you now. I like
yeah.
Here's the thing with you, Mark. I'm down with any facial hair that replaces the 70s porn mustache you have.
Okay. All right. Then there you go. I've had this since I was 17. So, you know. All right. So let's go into 2022 and 2023 from a marketing perspective. What did we see in dentistry in 2020? There's a couple of themes. The main theme was overcapacity. We saw, I don't know, hundreds of practices. I'm going to say 95% of our client practices were not only over capacity, they were way over capacity, almost down to the point of damaging their growth potential when things slowed down. We saw a few people start to slow down toward the fourth quarter of 2022. You had COVID happen, then you had the 2 months you're off. Then you had all the people who were going to come in and catch up, but then you had other people that you still needed to treat. So all the dental practices got overwhelmed with patients. Concurrent to all that happening, a lot of dentists were sitting there looking at their schedule thinking, hey, man, I'm the most popular dentist in the world. Look at my schedule. Everybody wants to come in and see me. And then they started looking at their insurance write-offs. And then they started to think, why am I doing this? Why? So they got this gigantic influx of dentists rethinking. They're actually looking at things now, right? Normally it's just kind of go on and they don't really sit down and look right at the numbers. But now we had a bunch of dentists looking at the numbers and they all came out of the woodwork and they said, hey, man, I don't want to take this plan anymore. Okay, we have a system. We have NPI Education. We have these wonderful instructors. You can go there. It's complimentary. Take all the courses, work your way through your insurance plans, but do it right. So 2022 saw us, the company, build out NPI Education, build out the fee-for-service journey. We built out a new product called Marketing Buddy AI. But to dentistry itself, the overwhelming theme was over capacity. So if you're one of those dentists who were over capacity, I really want you to stop at the end of this podcast and go look at your new patient numbers each month for 2022. Because if you were over capacity, I think what you're going to see is you're going to see your new patient numbers were very low. Even you were like unbelievably busy and you probably had no idea your new patient numbers were going down. Please take a look at them, because each dentist 32 hours a week needs 18 to 21 good quality new patients a month just to continue to grow the practice. There's your baseline. Look at your new patient numbers, because many of you stagnated your own new patient growth, and that's going to come and haunt you in 2023. And here's why. Great segue into 2023. I don't know when it's going to happen, end of the first quarter, second quarter, beginning of the third quarter. Nobody knows. I'm not Nostradamus, but I did call the 2009 recession pretty well. So let's just say that an economic downturn is coming. So if you spent 2022 constricting your new patient growth, and all of a sudden a recession hits, and all of a sudden your elective dentistry goes down, all of a sudden your patient flow and your schedule starts to get closer and closer and closer to today, you're definitely going to want to have those new patient numbers in your hand. You're definitely going to want to template your schedule for new patients. Do it now. Don't wait until Susie from the front desk comes to you and says, "Doctor, we have 9 openings next week. I don't know what to do." Okay. Don't wait. Don't wait for then, because by then you're in a panic mode. You make really bad decisions. So from a marketing perspective, as a summary, almost everyone was over capacity. The Kool-Aid's running out. Okay. And what's coming right around the corner is a dragon. Make sure you start now prepping those new patient numbers to help you through what's coming. That's my message for the end of the year. Laci, you want to go next?
Sure.
From a consultant standpoint, what did you see in 2022 and what do you think's coming in 2023?
I have 3.
Okay, good. Hit them.
All right. I have 3 because I like 3. First and foremost, super exciting. Every single one of our clients has experienced growth this year. That's exciting. And some of them we're not really at the beginning of the year. We're like, we'll see what this brings us. We weren't sure. Right. A couple of them have told us they're retired. That's it. They're done. They're retiring after this year, but they still experienced growth, which means it still works. Right. We can still experience growth. So that's exciting. Second thing is, I'm not just saying this because I'm on with you. I would have said it if I was on with somebody else. We're tired of insurance dictating the quality of care that we're destined to provide to our patients. I've done more insurance analysis this year than I have in 5 years combined, like insurance analysis, helping us get off of plans. And the third thing that's not a good thing, here's my one negative, is people don't, and I'm going to generalize people and then dial it down. People are not making dentistry a part of their lifestyle. They are not understanding the importance of oral systemic health and the fact that everything that happens right here affects the rest of our entire body. And we know now dentistry and oral health are as important as medical health.
Sure.
And when I say people, I'm talking patients and team members that aren't getting that message. So what do I think is going to happen in 2023? I do believe we are going to see more and more independent, small business owner dentist get out of this big, huge insurance umbrella net that has been created. I believe in the next 3 to 5 years, the insurance corporations are going to have to change their game a little bit.
Right.
That's one of the things I see. The other thing that I see is more education on business for dentists, understanding that this is in fact a small business and the health of your business dictates the health of your patients and your employees. Right. And they need more education on the business side of dentistry. And then if I fall in line with the third thing, we need a lot more leadership, education, and coaching to help patients understand why this is important and to help team members get work ethic again and understand you got to show up. You got to show up, but they also need something to show up for. Right. We need to create great leaders who create great atmospheres and great places to work so that people get that work ethic again.
So that you're actually a destination office for an employee, not the next Zoom meeting. Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, that's huge. So in 2023, do you see growth? Do you?
Absolutely.
You still
Absolutely.
see
There's
okay.
a way to make it. Absolutely.
I know there's a way. Yeah, there's ways.
There's a way to make it. Here's what's going to happen. I see a lot of dentists, independent dentists, hitting close to rock bottom and going, something's got to get. I got to figure this out. Something's got to give. This guy over here is turning a profit. This guy over here has a profitable practice, and I'm like scared. So I got to figure life out. And I think maybe the right coaches and consultants could be even more valuable in 2023 than ever before. Yeah. Or in a long time, at least.
Especially if the recession hits. That's absolutely true.
Yeah, because I think I don't feel like we're going to be one of the things that gets cut. And the reason I say that is because during COVID, not one of our clients asked to quit or postpone, or can we delay payment? Not one. We worked through everything that had to, we coached them all the way through, and they saw profit that year. So when you have the right coach, when you have the right consultant, when you have that right mindset, absolutely, we can get through this year.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Thank you, Laci. Andrew, Patient Care One from Florida, who takes care of patients, team members, and his partners. So 2022, as an actual dentist who actually treats patients, did you see anything different in 2022 from a patient care standpoint or a team standpoint or almost any standpoint as far as owning a practice? Now, you own a fee-for-service practice, so let's just put that out there first.
Yeah.
So that everybody that's listening to this understands where he's coming from. But go ahead.
So I will put it out there. I pretty much agree with everything Laci said.
Right.
Almost verbatim. But to put it in perspective, from a patient perspective and from a actual dentist perspective, I will say what I saw in 2022 was patients understand when you tell them, hey, we don't take this insurance because of this. 9 times out of 10, they automatically understand now. There's much less arguing why, all that. Like, it still happens here and there,
right?
But a lot less. And it seems like they understand, hey, there's inflation, things are going up. I know my insurance doesn't pay well. I know they argue. I know they try to dictate treatment. I completely understand why you're going out of network. Sometimes they can do it, sometimes they can't. But even if they can't stay in the practice, they understand like why we're doing it the way we're doing. So I think that's going to continue.
So you're getting less friction. You're getting less friction from that question than you used to. Okay.
Exactly. A lot less friction. And then also I'll put it from a staffing perspective. From a staffing perspective, it's still tight from a hygiene area, but from the rest of the staff, it's much easier finding qualified individuals. It's not just take what you can get anymore. Right. Now I think much easier finding qualified individuals. I will say, like, from a dentist leadership point of view, like, you have to be on top of your game to attract the best talent. But I think now the talent isn't as tight out there, where like you're gonna have options that you can, if you're a good leader and people want to work for you, you're gonna have a choice. It's not just take what you can get.
Right.
As far as 2023 goes, I think both of those things will continue, and they will become more and more obvious to the rest of the population that hasn't gotten it so far. From patients will continue to understand and see, and then from a employee perspective, employees will find they have to also up their talent if they want to work for the best offices. Now, I will say in 2023, those dentists out there, those practice owners out there who have not put two and two together and have seen their practice kind of flounder a little bit or struggle a little bit with insurances and stuff like that, and they want to go out of network, I think they're going to come more and more to the realization there's a process to do it, and it really all starts from the top. From that, they have to lead the way. And I would probably say we'll probably see little uptick in dentists taking more CE courses, finding more consultants, just to improve their leadership skills in the office and know how to manage your business a little bit more. Exactly like what Laci said about from a business perspective.
Right. Yeah, that's for anybody listening or watching this, that's why we put NPI Education together and brought people like this into it as instructors. It's not easy for a dentist to know who to trust. It's not easy for a dentist to know who to listen to. It's not easy it's really actually really difficult. If you're a dentist on Facebook forums or online chat forums, it's really hard to figure out who to know and who to. So anyway, anybody that's listening to this, if you haven't already, go into npieducation.com and just make an account and listen to these people. Whether you're going through a fee-for-service transition or not, the information in there is applicable to any dental practice. So before we finish up, because I think, we're getting close to the end. Specialists, small groups, individual dentists. Are you still seeing the consolidation accelerate like it was before COVID? Because I think it actually slowed down.
What do you mean?
Do you see as many DSOs buying private practices? You do? I know they're buying our practices because as soon as they buy them, we lose a client. I guess that happens to you too, right?
There are a lot of great coaches out there who will go DSO.
Right.
We're not that person. Bonnie and I are not those people. That's not our gig. Here's where I see it is somebody thought, I'm going to retire in 3 to 5 years. And then this last year hit and the employee's not showing up,
right? Not
even showing up for an interview. Patients making an appointment for the next day and then not like all of the things, right? And then these doctors forget it. I'm not waiting 3 to 5 years. I'm out of here. I want to be out of this practice by the end of the year. And they say this in October. I'm done. I want out by January 1st. Okay. That's where I see more DSOs peeking around the corner and going, you want to be out? We can do that for you. And without the right coaching and without the right accountants or attorneys, they're going, this is my way out.
Right. We're actually seeing a lot of small-ish DSOs pop up from clients. In other words, clients are like, hey, I did this once. I wonder if I can do it twice. Oh, yeah, I can do it. Oh, look, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. All of a sudden, they roll it up to a DSO. And you know what they're doing? They're doing it again. They're getting like 5 or 6 practices, rolling it up and just getting 5 or 6 more practices and rolling it up. They figured out where the best multiples are. They're actually at the bottom, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so we're seeing that, but they're coming back around. But 8, 9 years ago, you wouldn't see that. You would see just a DSO buying individual practices. Now they're buying up groups like 6 practices, 8 practices, 10 practices. And then that group's getting they get sucked up by Heartland or gigantic groups. I'm not sure the money's going to continue feeding the top. That's going to be interesting to watch because I know for a fact there are a whole lot of pissed off billionaires running around the world right now. And maybe they'll go into dentistry, maybe. There's a lot better places to put your money now, right? Now that it's been consolidated this far. Anyway, I know we're getting pretty deep into this.
I think I agree with Laci with the 3 to 5 years with the insurance industry having to change their game.
Yeah.
I'm curious how the DSOs change their game to adapt to that once they realize like they got to do something and numbers aren't making sense anymore.
As a marketing firm with a reputation of not taking insurance, I'm interested to find the first DSO that finally figures it out too. You don't have to do that. I know why they do it because it's a spreadsheet and it's a number on a spreadsheet.
I'll take it one step further as well. In this day and age, when the public consumers are demanding great customer service, exceptional good feelings every single time, and will sandblast you everywhere they can. If one little thing goes wrong, DSOs are going to have to change their game as well because patients are starting to be educated about the type of dentistry that they're getting, and they're demanding better customer service. And when you get into that big DSO corporation dentistry, you're not getting the very best customer service or dentistry that's out there. I think that's going to change too.
Yeah, it's going to have to. It's going to have to move in some direction. And maybe the recession will help move it. I don't know. It's going to move it in one direction or the other. So to all our listeners and watchers, I wanted to wish all of you a happy holiday. This will be our last podcast for 2022. We'll come back to you in January of 2023. Maybe eventually we'll have Laci and Andrew back on. maybe next quarter, we'll do quarterly recaps.
Sure.
And make sure every dentist that subscribes to the podcast understands what's going on and compares it to their own little part of the world so that you can make better decisions. Thank you very much. Thank you, Laci. Thank you, Andrew.
Of course.
Always a pleasure, Mark.
Yeah, we will see everybody on the flip side.
Awesome. See you later, Andrew. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thanks, Laci.